with all his experience under the belt and with drop goals maybe being the deciding factor tonight. Who knows? Will Tony Gigot be the Catalan hero?
I've no doubt this will be a close game, a tight game, but I'm looking forward to the battle of the nines. Darrell Clarke, who relies on that fast, quick play of the ball, and Michael McAlorum over the last 2 months has rediscovered that form, that crucial form that makes him so important to the side he's playing in. The upsurge in performances by Catalan, the results that they're getting it, although Josh Drinkwater takes a lot of the applause, I think he'll quickly acknowledge Michael McAlorum.
Right, the referee Ben Thaler blows the whistle. Stefan Ratchford gets us underway. Here we go then, a very important match. We're approaching what is called these days the business end of the season, and Warrington very much in the mix for the top 4. Catalan Dragons will be desperate to stay out of the bottom 4 and secure their future for yet another year in the top flight of the game. There is a lot of very important matches coming up over the course of the next 3 weeks. The next 3 rounds crucial to some clubs' futures, and of course we feature 2 more of them tomorrow night, with Leeds taking on the Wakefield Trinity side at Headingley. But here's the first penalty of the night, and it goes the Catalans' way.
Greg Bird, when he goes into the tackle there, you can see Harvey Levet's hand. His right hand just makes a play for that, a pull for that ball, and Greg Bird, well, he's not going to do everything he can to keep hold of it. Straight in front of the referee.
Well, they've almost repeated one of the mistakes they made last week there, haven't they? Conceding a penalty so early in the match. 5 in the first half last week at Wigan. It gifted their opponents more time with the ball and more chances to attack.
And here they come. This is Michael Simon with the ball behind him. It is Michael McAlorum, and there is Greg Burke, and he hands it on to Remy Casti. Goes straight at the chest of Darrell Clarke. Ben Westwood moving in as help. This Greg Bird, a drive forward again from Bird, the loose forward, currently in fine form. Bird tries in his last 2. McAlorum gets it away to Drinkwater. Drinkwater dabs the ball forward. Ratchford picks it up on his own goal line. That's a good set from the Catalan Dragons. 2 sets in a row for them after the penalty.
Well, that's how tough the game can be, Eddie. You give a penalty away and all of a sudden you've got to bring the ball back so close to your own line. Warrington rely heavily on the likes of Stefan Ratchford, Tom Lynham, Josh Charnley to get the team going forward, but they find it very difficult when they are trapped near their own line.
This man Chris Hill as well is always looking to propel Warrington in a forward motion. Here is Harvey Levet back in the side. They missed his goal kicking last week. Had they kicked any one of the 3 tries they scored at Wigan, they would have won the match. As it was, they lost it in the last 23 seconds.
Wasn't he good last week? Ben Westwood inspired by the 500 at the side of his name. Will he do the same at 501? I pretty much guarantee he will.
Fuad Yahar is chasing the long kick downfield from Tyrone Roberts, but it goes too deep, just as it did last week in the closing minute, and allowed Wigan to go up the other end of the field and snatch the win with the drop goal from Josh Woods.
Well, looking for distance, but just too much weight on that. Now 7 tackles this Catalan side have. Warrington nice and tight. Catalan not really offering anything. You can see all their players tight as Chris Hill comes up with a decent challenge. He was very good as well last week, wasn't he, against Wigan?
Lewis Teaney to his feet, and he gets up a little bit gingerly there because he hands on to his left shoulder as he played that ball. There's an early problem here for the Catalan Dragons former Wigan winger. Here comes Casti again. Solid run from him. That's what you get all night, all day, and all week, and all season from Remy Casti. Takes them forward. This now Samisoni Langi, the Tongan. Standoff in the last 3 victories for the Catalan Dragons. McAlorum comes down the right-hand side with Benjamin Julien up against his former club here tonight. McAlorum at dummy half. He's 20 metres out. Langi again with a huge, high cross-field kick. The ball comes off the shoulder of somebody, goes, oh, it came off a Warrington player, they say.
Come off Warrington.
Came off Warrington as a knock-on, so it was back to 1 in the tackle count. Josh Charnley looks confused. Head and feed, though, to the Dragons here.
Come off Warrington.
It was a bit of a loose kick. There wasn't much direction on that kick, but look at the bodies around. Look at the Catalan players trying to make that a contest and a genuine contest. They're going to make meters, Catalan Dragons. They're a big side to start. Remy Casti, Michael Simon setting the platform early, but the bench is huge, and as the 4 quarters start to unfold, when they use their interchange, their size and their power becomes apparent.
Warrington contesting and complaining about the decision, but it came off Charnley first.
It did certainly look like it come off his hands and went forward.
This is Langui to Gigot. Here's Julien, and the Catalan Dragons are in early. The Catalan Dragons go in for the first try of the night. From the base of that scrum, what a moment for Benjamin Julien. 2 seasons here, 3 tries in 23 for Warrington last year. That's his 6th try of the season for the French side. And what's more, he is their top tackle this year with 606 to his name.
Well, we see the ball here go back, but the important thing then, when they get this scrum situation, look, they've stacked every player on the left-hand side of the field. There's no white shirt over on that right. They've got 1 player extra, and they've made that look easy. Had it been touch and pass, they would have still scored there. They've created the space, lovely passing, and the intelligence of Gigot and the soft hands has invited Benjamin Julien in. The coach is happy here now. That is a great start for them.
Well, he's very pragmatic, isn't he, Steve McNamara? Very calm, very cool, very collected. And that was his reaction to the try. He knows there's still a long, long way to go. Only 5.5 minutes played, but crucially, Catalan Dragons ahead by 4 points to 0. And the conversion to come here from that man, Josh Drinkwater. The buy of the year, you have to say at this stage, yes, he is. He's added the extras. Warrington 0, Catalan Dragons 6, 5.5 gone.
Well, Phil's picked up with all the players stacked on one side, and when I think the damage is done from the dummy run of Mikkel Seaman, you could see that Harvey Levette, he bites in, then Kevin Brown has got a 2-on-1. He's got to decide which player to go for. He picks the wrong man, there's space on the outside, and as you say, Eddie, the former Warrington Wolf player, Benjamin Julien, goes in for the opening try.
You've got a try on Saturday against Wakefield as well, did Julien. He's in great form.
You've got to admire him, his courage, his bravery to go from France over to England, made his name as a Warrington player and struggled and fought every week to first of all get in the team and stay in the team. And I'm one that's thrilled to bits to see him back at Catalan. French players played in this great Catalan side and really shining through.
Well, plenty of Frenchmen, plenty of overseas players as well. They've got a Papua New Guinean and a Fijian in the centres. They have a Tongan and an Australian in the halves. But the basis of their team, to be fair, comes from France and people like McAlorum.
An Irishman.
Or an English international, one way or the other, and Lewis Tierney, a Scotsman. This is a knock-on, though, here by Greg Bird, and he doesn't seem particularly impressed with that decision that's gone against him.
Well, started the game strong. Greg Bird, always the leader that everyone looks to. Talk about Michael McLaurin. Well, I think that man as well. He was born a leader, leads by example. Every time he carries the ball, looks to put that magical play on. Got good footwork at the line, but he can also do the tough stuff as well.
I think he's a player, though, with better players around him. He doesn't feel the need to overplay. We often see, or we've seen in this country when he's played for Catalan, he can get frustrated. When his side is playing well and there are other players to absorb that pressure, he's at his best.
Wigan 6-0 up at Huddersfield. That's a massive match for Huddersfield tonight. It's a huge game tomorrow night for Leeds and Wakefield in the context of the bottom 4 as well. The Catalan Dragons off to a flying start here, and Chris Hill is hurt here as he just about gets to his feet and plays the ball. There's Roberts, gets it away to Hughes. Good defence on show from the Catalan Dragons. Here now is Roberts. He finds Darrell Clark, and Westwood will take the ball forward again as he's done throughout his long career. 501st appearances, we've been saying tonight. This is Roberts now, change of direction. Gigot got to him, but the Catalan Dragons fullback Tony Gigot is called offside by Ben Thaler.
Good spot as well from Tyrone Roberts. Stood wide of the ruck. Knew that the defenders were going to be chasing sideways, then steps off his right foot, tries to go back, and Chris Hill still not moving well though, Eddie, back in the line.
Yes, he's still out there, Chris Hill. It'll take something to get him off the field. Westwood with the first drive. This is Clark now. It's Roberts. Back it comes to Kevin Brown. Brown gets it away to Harvey Levette. He is halted by a solid challenge. First of all by the big fellow in defence. It was Simisone Langui. And this is Chris Hill again. You wouldn't believe he was injured a few seconds ago, would you? Greg Bird traps him round the ankles. Simon finishes him off. Another little push and a tug. Here is Brown again, gets the ball away to Bryson Goodwin. That's good defence from David Mead.
Strong challenge, wasn't it, from David Mead? Here goes Levette.
Mead involved again. It seemed that ball came free from Levette, but the referee, happy enough, he retained possession. Brown now with a crossfield kick to the right-hand side. Up they go. And Fuad Yaha got to it first. The ball has come back. The referee's got a bit of a decision to make here.
Where there?
He's going to have a word with the touch judge, Stuart, to decide what's gone on.
Well, they've decided that it was a ball steal one-on-one, but the ball was knocked forward, so it's not the handover. It's a scrum to Catalan. Obviously, the ball was stolen and then knocked on by Warrington, according to the touch judge.
Michael McAlorum was out, putting all kinds of pressure on the Catalan kicker, grabbed him by the scruff of the neck and got him to ground.
He's the player that's been involved on Kevin Brown, who kicked the ball, on Chris Hill, the inside pressure that he exerts on the man who's carrying the ball.
Lange trying to clear his lines here from the base of that scrum. Let's go down to Bill as the try scorer Benjamin Julien takes it forward.
Eddie, just a quick update on climatic conditions, which for a change are grey, almost cool, and there's rain in the air. There's a lot of bewilderment down here, in actual fact. Haven't seen that for some time. There is rain in the air, dark clouds overhead, and the potential maybe of thunderous downpours, apparently.
Yeah, the rain is coming home. Good kick down the line here from Gigo. Didn't quite make the 40-20 he was hoping.
But quite happy with just playing the percentages, Eddie. Kicking on the fourth player, Tony Gigo. Big and strong, just like that defence as well on Lewis Tierney. Hit with everything from Darrell Clark, who's got very good technique for a smaller man to get underneath the ball.
And you would think one of the key battles tonight is between that man Darrell Clark and Michael McAlorum on the other side.
Yeah, I know you do. Yeah, I know you've got to do.
You've got another good battle, haven't you, as well, in Chris Hill and Remy Casti. Two old warriors of the side and of the game.
There is Hill. He's almost through. That was a great run from him. It was important that Benjamin Garcia kept hold of him. It's now Roberts, and he's fooled them there with a little show and go, but he didn't get away from Casti. He played the ball quickly to Clark. They'll come down the left side here with Harvey Levett. Harvey Levett gets the ball out wide to Tom Lynham, but it was forward anyway.
Well, they're not afraid to play, are they? Remember that man, Harvey Levett, when he played against Leeds Rhinos in round 14. Scored a hat-trick, was absolutely exceptional. That ball does go forward. They're looking to use the width of the field.
A positive for the Wolves is the fact that Tyrone Roberts, in my eyes, he started to run at players, hasn't he? Twice now in the opening 10 minutes. He's taking defenders on. That can only help to create space for his outside teammates later on. If the defenders in the middle are concentrating on him as a running option, they'll tighten up, they'll stay in the centre of the field, not drift off and shift wide, and it should allow more opportunity for the Warrington outside backs as the game progresses.
Catalan ahead after 12 minutes in possession from the scrum. Their last win at Warrington, April 2011, 22 points to 20. One of just 3 wins from 14 visits to the Warrington ground. But they're in great form. They started awfully, but Steve McNamara and, more importantly, the chairman Bernard Gouache held the patience. McNamara insisted things could only get better, and boy, they have in the recent past. This is Samisoni Lange now, and Casti has lost the ball. And he got a clack on the back of the head as well, by the looks of things, for his pains.
But when he finishes the tackle off Ben Westwood, the ball is gone. He follows through. It's Remy Casti who feels the full weight of that challenge. There was no need for it, you have to say.
Remy, calm down, leave it to me. Calm down. Remy, oi, look at me. Calm down. Wait there. Ben, look that way. Stay there, calm it down. Oi.
Remy Casti not too impressed with whatever happened involving Ben Westwood, and there's a bit of a discussion. I didn't know Ben was such a good French speaker, actually.
Well, I think when he makes the mistake, Remy Casti relaxes, and Ben Westwood picks him up still, thinking that he's got hold of the ball. Benny Westwood did apologise, but then Remy Casti, I said before, he's an old warrior. I think he's been the best Super League French forward that's played the game. He leads by example all the time, exactly the same as Greg Bird, really.
Tom Lynham takes the ball, first receiver from the scrum. Here was Darrell Clark. Huddersfield clawing their way back into that match, maybe. Maybe should have been a penalty against Drinkwater. Here is Darrell Clark now trying to go around the Catalan marker.
3, wait. Go.
Here is Roberts. Gets it away to Cooper. Cooper runs laterally, then straightens it up. Mike Cooper looks to offload, but too many white shirts around him, couldn't get it away. 4 gone. 30 metres out, Warrington. Roberts to Brown. Brown gets it away to Ratchford. Ratchford further wide to Charnley. Here he goes again. Charnley, good tackle by Tierney and helped out by David Mead. And they're saying that was a knock-on by Charnley. By Tom Lynham, I beg your pardon. Brown with a chip over the top. Samasoni Lange picks it up. I think he might have been tackled in the air. No, he wasn't. It's a goal line dropout. Good pressure from Warrington.
I think when David Mead makes that tackle, he's asking the touch judge to take a look at the sideline. That's a lovely take, but beautiful follow-up from Warrington. That's the second time they've tried a cut-out pass over on this left edge. As the tackle goes in here, there's pressure comes from the inside. David Mead trying to push, trying to shove the head of Tommy the Tank Lynham near the sideline. Neil Poit.
Huddersfield tonight, as I've been saying, and Catalan tonight, Leeds and Wakefield tomorrow. The battle to avoid the bottom 4 will go on, and we feature it tomorrow, 7:30, here on Sky Sports. I say the battle for the bottom 4, the battle to get out of the bottom 4.
One movement, girl!
And stay out of the bottom 4.
Mike, come on, Ben!
Warrington in that situation 12 months ago, not so here tonight, looking for the top 4 as Westwood drives it forward once again.
Go.
Here is Darrell Clark. Brown gets it away to Levesque. Good hands. This is Ratchford. Stopped and started again. Ratchford to within 8 metres before he's pulled down. Goodwin is in there at dummy half waiting for the play the ball. There it is. Back it comes then to Brown. He had to stoop to pick that one up. Now it's Westwood. Westwood tackled by Bird and finished off by Remy Casti. Now Clark to Hill. Hill to Roberts. He drops the pass off to Jack Hughes. Jack Hughes comes back across the face of play before he is grounded on tackle number 5. That's how close they are, 8 metres or so away. Clark gives it to Brown. Brown stabs the kick to the in-goal area. Bryson Goodwin connects, and Bryson Goodwin responds for the Warrington Wolves. Well, only his 3rd try of the season for Bryson Goodwin. His first year in Super League, of course, the former South Sydney man. In 2017, they picked him up in Warrington from Leigh when they got relegated.
Well, it's the kicking game for Warrington right at the 4 at the minute. A goal line drop up, good chase from Ratchford, nice interplay. A couple of tackles before this, but what a beautiful kick. Bryson Goodwin knows what's coming. He knows he has to stay flat, time his run, be disciplined. And when the kick is put in, what a beautiful pick-up.
Well, the kick's made easy when Lange jumps out the line. There's that extra space created. I say the kick from Kevin Brown into the space for that man to score.
Well, Bryson Goodwin scored it. Kevin Brown created it with the kick. He retired from the international game earlier this year, and he wants to play on in Super League with Warrington next season. His contract's up at the end of the campaign.
Well, what was most impressive from Kevin Brown wasn't the fact that the kick was a brilliant one that set up the try, was the fact that he'd run through on the previous play and made the effort to come back, get back into position to make that kick. Very few players would have actually done that effort on an effort to put themselves in a situation to create the score for his teammate. It was fantastic, and here's an alternative goal kicker. Tyrone Roberts having a go.
And he gets the 2 extra points. He's okay in terms of goal kicking in his career. 220 in his NRL career. That's his first for Warrington.
Well, if you look there on your left of your screen, top left-hand corner, Kevin Brown, look, he makes the effort, he sprints back into position, gets there just in time for Clark to deliver the pass, and then has the skills to put the ball invitingly there for his teammate, Bryson Goodwin, in between the space, bounces up favourably, he's first to it.
So the score's a level, 17.5 minutes gone. Catalan restart with Drinkwater. Ratchford's underneath it again. Here goes Chris Hill. This is a meeting of 2 of the form teams in Super League right now. You know, it could be a dress rehearsal for the Wembley Challenge Cup final on August the 25th. Warrington will play Leeds, Catalan will meet St Helens in the semi-final. Neither game right now is easy to call, despite the fact that Saints are top of the tree. Catalan coming with a late surge. Leeds struggling a bit as well just now, but with Kevin Sinfield at the helm. who knows what the future holds for the Rhinos? We'll maybe get a clue tomorrow.
Well, both teams certainly do throw a lot at you. I mean, you look at that offload then from Cooper. It was a dominant tackle. As he was getting driven back, he looks to try and give the ball into a person in better position.
Here's a penalty to the Catalan Dragons now.
Well, Benny Westwood just caught on the wrong side of the rope. Can't really get out of the way of the man, Michael McLaurin, who's about to pick the ball up.
I wonder if they'll have a shot at goal here, the Catalan Dragons. Will they, or will they run it? Very early in the piece, there's a bit of a discussion going on.
They're asking questions, aren't they? I think that's
they're going to go for it. They're going to go for it.
I think that's a view to the pace of the game. Benny Westwood certainly making his presence felt. There was that altercation with Remy Castille. I've seen those two players come head-to-head a time or two. It was Mikel Seaman on the previous carry. But he's doing what he does best, Ben Westwood, imposing his will on his opposition, getting stuck in and just rattling as many players as he can.
The old warrior, Ben Westwood, ever present in 2018, as you've just seen, 36 years young, 38 tackles last week and a Man of the Match award in the game against Wigan. What a servant he's been. Let's not forget he began at Wakefield. Came over here around about the same time as Ryan Atkins, who is currently out of this Warrington side. And I saw him with his arm in a sling in the crowd before the match started. Toby King taking over from him at the moment. Drinkwater here has added the extra two, as you would expect. And so the Catalan Dragons edge ahead once again. Steve McNamara makes a note in the book for whatever he would be saying at half-time.
Well, one of the messages might be the fact that let's be the ones to land on those offloads. Warrington have had success this season in some big games by offloading and keeping the ball alive, but it was the Catalan Dragons who were the first one on the floor. By being first to any 50-50 ball, they give yourselves a chance. They've done that now with the 2 extra points.
Okay, Stefan, stand, guys.
He's certainly been the catalyst for them since he arrived. Luke Walsh unfortunately had to retire, and that freed up the space and no doubt the money for Catalans to go out and get Drinkwater.
Well, don't forget as well, they tried, didn't they, with a 19-year-old come out of Lucas Alba, who probably will have a good future eventually in this game, but there's so much pressure on the side, on the shoulders of a man there leading a side, 19 years of age, at the bottom of the table, and in the end the club decided to bring in Joshua Watt. He's lost the ball again, Bird.
And it's been picked up by Harvey Levett.
Well, that's the second time that Greg Bird has made a mistake bringing the ball away from his line.
And it was that man that made the tackle, made it difficult. The ball was dislodged, and Ben Westwood again getting really stuck in this evening.
Roberts gets the ball away to Ratchford. That's a great try from John Charnley. Josh Charnley, fantastic since his return to rugby league from rugby union. Absolutely fantastic. His 12th try in Super League. That's his 19th try now, and this is his 16th appearance for Warrington Wolves. He was the Super League top try scorer 2 years on the bounce, 2012 and 2013. Just imagine, had Josh Charnley been Warrington from the start of the season.
Well, Warrington, they benefit here from the mistake from Greg Bird. They just kicked the penalty, they got 2 points in front, then all of a sudden it's easy position for Warrington. And what about the play from Stephen Ratchford? He's got vision, he's got balance, he's brave as well. When they go at the line, Tyrone Roberts knows that there's enough strike over on the right-hand side. And when that man gets the ball, Josh Charnley, well, he certainly knows how to finish.
Yes, he does. His try made it 12-all against Wigan with 3 minutes to go last week. That's 7 tries in the last 7 games for him now.
This is interesting, going on to the goal kicking, Eddie. You'd think by the time you get to round 20, your club would have decided who your first and second choice goal kickers are. Again, Tyrone Roberts here now, round 20, being asked to kick. Last week they had Ratchford and Bryson Goodwin attempt. There's obviously a Harvey Levett's kick successfully for them this season. Fascinates me.
Stephen Price has made the decision, obviously, this week that this is the man to kick the goals. 1 from 1. Will he make it a 4-point advantage for the Warrington Wolves here? And the answer is no, he won't. Just looks over the shoulder nonchalantly.
It is a nice play, and they're good with the ball at the minute, Warrington, but I put that down to defence. Ben Westwood has done more tackles than anybody else on the field, making it simple for players like Josh Charnley to make the most of the time with the ball in hand.
Good to see him back in the game, Josh Charnley. And 6 apiece now at the John Smith Stadium over in Huddersfield and Wigan. This is Joe Philbin.
Causes some problems when he carries the ball, doesn't he?
Livett. Halted by David Mead first of all, and Julien second of all. Hill. That's a penalty.
Sam Moore just catches Chris Hill over the top of the ball.
Only just on as well.
Sam Moore, part of that big bench. Sam Moore, Bousquet, Batiri, Kenny Edwards, very impressive player when he comes on.
There's a little movement from Chris Hill. He's so good. Everyone thinks that he's direct, but he has got a little shift at the line. It causes some problems.
So Darrell Clarke gets them going again, as does Ratchford. And Ratchford is caught high by David Mead. Catalan's indiscipline is starting to cost them.
It's the speed of which they put the players on. And he does, he comes back, they flash across, they go back to the blind side, and there's a high shot from David Mead, PNG international.
2 penalties in as many seconds almost, Stuart.
Yeah, well, it's high time. Just caught him on the neck, which is a penalty.
Yeah. We end up there, we end up also around the head. Just be careful about those tackles. Okay, think what we're doing. It's penalty, that's it. Back on the line here.
It's a nice trick play from Warrington. Everybody running more or less at full pace when that ball is thrown onto the field. Quick tap, and they're all in all kinds of disarray, Catalan Dragons, still retreating, and they give the penalty away.
Glorious opportunity then for Warrington. Here comes Philbin again. 22nd appearance of this year for Joe Philbin, the Irishman, all of them off the bench. Cooper gets it away to Roberts. Roberts gets it wider still. This is Toby King. He eventually goes down. That's only the second tackle though. Jack Hughes. Roberts, short ball. Cooper takes it forward again. Mike Cooper, legs keep pumping. 5 metres away now, Warrington. Catalan lining up across the field to try and keep them out. Here is Kevin Brown. Brown then gives it to Livett. Livett to Ratchford, wide to Lynham. Lynham cuts back inside. And Bryson Goodwin at dummy half. Brown attacking the line. Good tackle by Sam Moore. Nothing wrong with that one. He's looking for the penalty. Kevin Brown, referee said nope. Very quickly. Roberts to the corner. High kick. Yaha tried to get it. Charnley loses it. Eventually finds its way to Darrell Clarke. Here is Joe Philbin. Still on the last Philbin. Still on the last. Ratchford stabs it forward. Livett tries to pick it up. Livett will score. I think that this might have to be checked and rechecked again by tonight's video referee, Phil Bentham. But I didn't see too much wrong with that, Stuart, but there's an awful lot to look at.
There is. I think his main concern is just the offside towards the back of the play. When it was kicked through, was everybody onside from there? So we have to go right back to the first kick. See that everybody's onside on the chasing side, on the right-hand side, and then we know that the ball comes clear after this. And we'll just want to make sure that that goes back, and certainly from that angle, it looks like it goes behind Charnley, so we'll be okay to play on from that. And then we get a bit of play in between, which would all be okay until we come to the ball backwards from Philbin and kick forward. At this point, everybody on the left-hand side is onside, so able to chase the ball. And I think from there, we just get a clean pick-up. So it's only Harvey Livett has touched that ball so far. He's juggling the ball, so it hasn't touched the Catalan player to this point.
Terry would be calling for a knock-on here. It's hit his chest, it's hit his noggin.
And he catches the ball before another Catalan player. So again, we play on from here. And does he retain possession? He does. And the ball's grounded for a try. This will be confirmed.
Nothing wrong with that, Terry.
No. Good try, wasn't it? Perfect, this, Eddie.
It was better than good. It was outstanding. To put yourself in the position, and haven't they got a wealth of quality back rowers? Ben Curry out for the season. We've hardly seen him in 2018. Harvey Levett steps forward. When Jack Hughes, Harvey Levett and Ben Curry are fit and available for selection, my word, Warrington will have some talent in that back row.
Well, he's taken to the second row role like a duck to water, has Harvey Levett. That's his 9th try of the season for Warrington's Player of the Month in May. Now, Tyrone Roberts then to try and add the extras. Oh, he just has. It just snuck inside the near post. There's a little laugh as well as he takes a drink of water. But what a try from Levett. What a Warrington try that was.
Well, there's always a lot of movement when Warrington are attacking so close to the line. Josh Charlie does a decent job getting a ball through a Yaha. Then when this ball goes to Joe Philbin, he's thinking, what do we do? It's the last play. He loses the ball backwards. Good skills from Stephen Ratchford. And that try comes down to sheer commitment and desire. When Harvey Levett goes for this ball, he's in a contest, isn't he? First of all, he's got to catch it, and secondly, he's got to get over the try line.
Oh, line him underneath the kickoff, gave it to Philbin, and Philbin drops it cold 2 meters away from his own line. How often do you see this? Players score a try, celebrate, and then bang, something goes wrong. A brain explosion.
You talked about getting hit
Not
in the
blaming
noggin.
him.
No, you talked about getting hit in the noggin. Well, that pass from Tom Lynham wasn't the best, but I'm sure that when he looks at that, Joe Philbin,
he's got to time his run better, and he puts pressure on Lynham because he's almost on the game line as the juggle and the ball isn't secure in the hands of the winger Tom Lynham.
Well, once again, as this scrum is formed, Catalan have got every player on the left-hand side of the field, so there's no prizes for guessing where this is going, and here they come again. This time Warrington, though, are up to the task, are they, to keep out Benjamin Garcia. Huddersfield take the lead against Wigan. This is a penalty here to the Catalan Dragons. You can't do that, Jack Hughes.
well, interference. 3 men in the tackle. He's all over him. He's stood to the side of the ruck. He's not in front. A couple of things that could have been penalised then.
The defensive line is now set. This is Bousquet with a drive to the line. Warrington hold him out. McIlorum, he's seen a gap. McIlorum goes for it, and that was a massive space on the Warrington goal line.
Come down.
And what I will say about that, that's soft defence, that, from Warrington.
He must only be looking here at the grounding of the ball.
Just making sure.
Surely just looking at the grounding of the ball, Stuart, nothing else.
Yeah, there's a call from the touch judge on the side who was unsure about the grounding, but I think it's rolled over anyway, so if he didn't get it down the first time, it does end up on the ground the second time. We'll see if he gets it down the first time there. It looks like it's on the ground, and it's certainly on the ground there.
Really poor defence from Tyrone Roberts. He's made Michael McLaurin's mind up for him. He shot the line, the gap's there. He can't really pass the ball to one of his teammates, McLaurin, because he'll be putting him under pressure.
Well, he didn't lose contact with the ball, Michael McIlorum. I think this is going to be confirmed with the on-field decision being a try. And it's only Michael McIlorum's second try in Super League this year. He got a try for Wigan in the 2013 Grand Final win over Warrington. 10 years at Wigan. Michael McIlorum back in the side, and Catalan back in the match.
Well, the mistake gifted them the field position, but a lot has been said about Josh Drinkwater and the difference he's had. They then got a penalty that added to that problem there, and Michael McIlorum has become a more dangerous attacking threat for the Dragons. That certainly lifted their performance and lifted them up the table. That's a perfect example of how he's better at attacking, scoring 4 points from that situation.
Drinkwater then to try and add the extras, and that's almost inevitable that he will. And so they're back again to within 2 points. We've had 28 minutes, and we've had plenty of entertainment, plenty of points.
Well, I think that McLaurin, he's the heartbeat of the side. He's very tough, he's uncompromising. I think people, when they look at him, thinks he's just an aggressive player. Yeah, he is an aggressive player.
All right, keep it calm, cool down.
Yeah, he is an aggressive player. That's why Ben Feller saying to him, keep it calm, let's calm down. But what he also is, he's very skillful.
One of your favourites, isn't he, Terry?
He's outstanding. He's one of those players that you look at and you think, I would have loved to have played with him.
Onside, boys.
Well, either you're too old or he's too young, one of the two.
The first one.
Ratchford will restart. Warrington holding on to a 2-point lead. Catalan will come forward once again here.
With the giant Julian Busquets. Barry's already talked about Sam Moore, but that is a big bench. Jason Bateri, Kenny Edwards. Big aggressive team that like to go forward. You see from Sam Moore there, doesn't really use any footwork. He just picks out a man and runs as hard as he can. Here's the other one, Bateri.
Moore, by the way, is making his 50th Catalan appearance here tonight. He's only missed 4 this year, and all of them because he was suspended. 2 out early in February and 2 last month.
And that's in the skill set of Michael McAlorum as well. Pops out from dummy half, everybody's onside, puts the kick in and leads that kick chase team. He's the man making the tackle. It's his second effort. Skillful, energetic, and you're right, Tez, he is the heartbeat of that team.
Toby King picks up from dummy half, tries to make some metres forward, but he's pulled back by 3 men. Referee eventually shouts held. He'll play the ball here to Darrell Clark. It's Garcia standing square. It doesn't matter if Clark has escaped another and gets a great ball away to Akuola. Talk about big men coming off the bench. How about that fellow, the Tongan, Sitaleki Akuola for Warrington. Roberts with a little dab over the top into the corner, turning Gigo around. He can hear the chasers behind him. That's a fantastic kick and a wonderful chase by Charnley.
A lot of energy in that set. It all started from Darrell Clark as well. When he gets out from dummy half, beats a few defenders, offloads the ball, and all of a sudden, everything's quick. Pulling in players. Look at him, the footwork, the strength to get rid of those players, sit him on the backside, then get a decent offload to Akuola. Like I said, he's a big man, lands on his front, plays it quickly.
Well, Josh Charnley didn't play that many games for the Sale Sharks, but what he did do was provide a lot of enthusiasm in the whole camp. Players at that club town with it every day he turned up with the enthusiasm in which he chased that kick then, and it certainly lifted his side here now, half an hour into this game.
Only 2 points in it. Goal line dropout. Oh, to Charnley, and he managed to keep hold of it.
Had a bit of a juggle, didn't he, Josh Charnley? He's had a good start to this game. And the player on the other flank, Tom Lynham, big powerful player. I've seen it a couple of times. They're trying to get him outside. If he looks forward now, he's got nothing but space because they have a compressed defensive line, Catalan Dragons. Watch for the long ball.
Brown trying to escape the attentions of his opposite number, Samisoni Langi. And also Jason Battieri was there as well. This is Philbin now. Straight into the chest there of Julian Busquets.
Wait, Tony. Go.
Clark gets it away to Roberts. Down the right side, he finds King again. King puts boot to ball. Fuad Yaha goes to ground quickly, does well.
He just stays in the field of play, and Warrington all slotted in. Look at this now. Only some tough carries here for the Catalan players. Josh Drinkwater saying, turning around to his teammates saying, right, well, who wants the ball here?
Lewis Tierney, one of the lightest, has a go. Huddersfield 12-6 up against Wigan. Here goes Moa. We saw Huddersfield last week, didn't we? They played really well.
It's been a massive effort. Sorry, a massive effort here from Warrington there. They contain them within 30 metres. Can they push on here now before half-time and turn that defensive effort into an attacking result?
Ratchford gives it to Lynham. Garcia went for him and it was a bit high. I think it came off the top of his head.
First of all, he was lined up by the left centre. I think it was Braden William, and as you said, as he's going down, then Jason Bateri hits him high. The referee Ben Thaler has no option but to give that penalty away.
7.5 minutes to half-time. Warrington just ahead with this penalty that will give them a bit of territory. They'll start this set inside Catalan territory with Toby King. He'll give it to Roberts, who finds Akuola. Warrington centre field with Clark at dummy half. Come down the left briefly, then finds Bradley Brown, who finds Roberts. They switch the direction of the attack. Here's Ratchford. Good on his feet, Ratchford. He's been in sensational form all year.
Gives himself some time as well by the depth that he has when he attacks the line.
Cooper.
Kenny Edwards.
Well, he got his own man then. I don't know if it's a penalty here for friendly fire.
Kenny Edwards does fling himself into everything he does, but he's carrying the ball, and watch him here. I'm not sure what kind of tackle technique that is.
Is that a penalty though, Stuart?
Unless there's contact with the head of the opponent, it wouldn't necessarily be a penalty.
Well, he was a bit reckless then.
That's what he had a bit of a belt on Sir Stefan Ratchford immediately prior to this, but he got Pateri. That should be a penalty to the Catalan Dragons.
I want a word, please. I want a captain as well. Who's captain?
He wants him to calm down.
Time is off. Who's the captain? Well, let's see what we've got. We've had a couple. In general, we've been all right in the ruck and things like that. We've had a couple of high tackles, and then we get things flying in like that, which is completely reckless. Okay. We need to control his tempo, please. Right. Okay.
There we go. He just said to the referee, both have been penalised for hitting the old man too hard.
He certainly got him for the intent, didn't he, of trying to knock his block off. He got his first 2 try display of his career off the bench against Leeds. Kenny Edwards.
And at the back end of that game, Eddie, let me tell you, he was the main focus. Kenny Edwards really twisting and bending and using those rules to the advantage of the Catalan Dragons, and it worked.
I've never seen a penalty been conceded in such a strange way, and I think Warrington are going to make them pay for this.
Well, the information came from video referee Phil Bentham, who advised Ben Thaler that, in his opinion, it was reckless intent.
Fair enough. This is almost bang in front, and Roberts makes no mistake. Doubles the lead, 18-14. You were penalised many times, Terry, for reckless intent, weren't you?
I don't think they hit me all play though like that. Neil Cower used to do it quite a lot, and Steve Price knows that penalty.
Kelvin Skerritt used to, Stuart.
Yes, Kelvin Skerritt, another one.
He was a bit recklessly intended, wasn't he?
I used to hit my own players regularly, especially Daryl Powell. Knocked him out a time or two as well.
I wonder why I didn't speak to you every time we go to Castleford. Okay, Catalan Dragons trailing by 4.
That going for them 2 points is probably the right decision as well. It just takes the sting out of the game, Eddie. And the last couple of times they've been down there and they have had a penalty, they've chosen to run the ball. But knowing that Catalan, you can see a couple of them starting to jump the line, looking for that solo effort, that big hit that they have. And the likes of Kenny Edwards and Mickey Mack are certainly those sort of players who lift the team with efforts like that.
Well, this belligerent attitude that the Catalan Dragons have got lately has certainly stood them in good stead. Gone from the bottom of the table into the top 8, and the intention from Steve McNamara is that they stay there. He's turned the season round, there's no doubt about that. His first game in charge of the Catalan Dragons just last year was here. They lost 16 points to 24. They'd love to go home tonight with a victory. They've been in this country since the match against Wakefield on Saturday. They made camp just outside Manchester. They've been waiting for this. High kick here from Roberts. Claimed by Gigot.
Well, the first 10 games, they only won 2, didn't they? Looked like they couldn't really win an argument, but then all of a sudden, they pull the game back, they stripped it back, and players led from the front. Tony Gigot is one of those players who has got that special touch, especially when they're in attack. And it all comes down to time. The World Cup was a wonderful tournament, but so many players involved from this Catalan Dragons club that Steve McNamara had virtually no time with his team at all before the season had started.
Oh, that's a cheap penalty, I'm sorry. That is one of those, Stuart. You know, Ben's been suckered in there by Gigot. He threw it straight at the grounded player.
Well, he's lying now. He tries to stand up. He tries to get out of the way. Tony Gigot knew exactly what he was doing. He knew where the player was. He motions the ball as though he's going to give it to Kenny Edwards.
What can you do?
Over him.
Yeah,
but over him.
I understand he could do, but if he doesn't, the player throws it into him. You have to give a penalty, don't you?
Well, the referee now has the option to penalise that act of throwing it into. If he thinks it's deliberate, and that's the difficult thing from the referee's point of view, to see whether it's deliberate or not.
Trouble is, Tyrone Roberts was getting up off the floor, wasn't he, which made it doubly difficult for Ben Thaler. Lange is grounded by a good tackle by Jack Hughes. Meanwhile, here's Drinkwater. Now it's Sam Mower. Solid run. Harvey Levette did well, actually. Looked like he'd been taken off his feet then and then got back and pulled him down. Garcia, dummy half, 10 metres out. Drinkwater again, slides the kick in, and they picked it up brilliantly. That is a try, is it, for Gigot? But I tell you what, he's done himself some damage here. He wants treatment already. I think he landed on the ground heavily. They have a try on the field, but Gigot might have done himself some damage here in the ribs.
Well, if this isn't a try, I'm sure there'll be an obstruction on Jason Materi.
Well, he's asked him to look at that as well. He's asked to look at the grounding and the challenge on Battieri going through. You see he's pulled back slightly there, but if we get through for a try anyway, if the try's scored, he probably won't take any action against that. But he's onside. There's just well, it's a push, isn't it? Slight push by Jack Hughes. He's caught the ball safely. Ball's grounded before his left arm goes down.
Ooh, does he lose it? Does he lose it?
Ooh, I think he's still got possession there.
I think he might have done.
And especially as the try's being awarded on the field, I think he's still got hold of it against his chest as the ball goes down to the ground.
That could be where that injury is. He might have winded himself because he's lost control. He's still got control of the ball, correct me terminology, but he hasn't.
He's not rolling over in embarrassment, is he? Because he thinks he's blown the try.
No, I think, but he's still out there. He's still down behind the dead ball line here where he ended up. He's still receiving treatment. This is going to be given. Immediately touched the ball down for the try that has been confirmed by Phil Bentham. There he is, and he's obviously in some pain. I wonder whether the point of the ball had really cracked a rib or done a rib cartilage or something.
I think that's what's happened to him. It's a lovely kick. Here's the penalty. Think of it what you will, but the whistle's been blown, the penalty's been given. We've hardly mentioned Josh Drinkwater, and his influence on this game just hasn't come to the front of everybody's mind yet. His form has been outstanding over the last month. There's the try, there's the injury, and I think he's done himself a mischief with landing on the point of the ball.
It was an enthusiastic chase, it really was. It was a good try, and he's trying to work the problem off. And the kicker, Josh Drinkwater here, will give Catalan Dragons the lead. And is that liquid sunshine in the background I can see? It is. People have been calling for rain for months. It's arrived. And Drinkwater has arrived as well for the Catalan Dragons. His kick gives them a 20 points to 18 lead, a minute and a half from the break.
Well, his kick has been very important. A lot of tries that the Dragons have scored this year. And that short kick there, which they put in earlier in the match, early in the tackle count, they're not afraid to take a risk when their opposition aren't expecting a kick. And they've pulled off with fantastic skill and timing. A try that puts them ahead, you would imagine here now, as they take the break in a minute's time.
They're ahead by 2 points. It's been a ding-dong battle, this. They led after 5 minutes, and it was level. They led after 20. Then Warrington edged in front. They got back in it in the last 10 minutes of the second half. They lead by 2 points with 1 minute and 12 seconds exactly remaining.
Well, both sides are completing high. They're strong when they're carrying the ball like tonight in low-risk plays, getting to the sets, but they are feeding off each other when they get penalties, or when they have made one of those few errors that they seem to be doing in the opposition's half.
Well, all the Catalan Dragons team have to do here is hang on to the ball for this set, dump it into touch, and you would imagine that that's how we will stay at half-time with a 2-point lead for them. That's a solid enough run, almost to the halfway line there. Here goes Lange again. They're thinking more in terms of making progress themselves here. Well, they've reached tackle number 5. Nothing negative about this.
Take it up high here, Eddie.
All along the deck from Gigot. He does exactly what I said he would do. Finds touch. They'll stroll to the scrum and they'll turn around with a 2-point.
I don't understand why they kick the ball. I don't understand why they kick the ball off the field there. You've got one more play. Stick it high in the air and make it a contest.
They'll take it to. Say they stick it high in the air. Lynham gets it and scores a 19.
You've got to back your own defence, haven't you, Eddie?
Well, I think that's the safety.
That's
first
a negative play for me.
Come on, Barry.
I agree.
Well done, Barry. Well done. Half-time siren sound. Are you agree with me or him?
I just agree.
Okay.
I agree with you, Eddie.
Well, Gigot's still feeling the effects of that try that he scored 3 minutes from half-time that gives the Catalan Dragons a half-time lead. Julien against his former club after 5 minutes. Goodwin for Warrington responded. Drinkwater penalty. Charnley try. Livette try. 16-8 for Warrington. McIlorum then. 16-14 Warrington. Roberts with a penalty goal. Gigot on the stroke of half-time. Converted by Drinkwater. 18-20 at the break. Brown misses it. Gelling over the top.
Let's go and see a film with Meerkat Movies. It's one whole year of films with Meerkat Movies. 12 months, 4 seasons, the deal is all year long. It's a musical. I hate musicals. A whole year of 2-for-1 cinema tickets only for customers of Compare the Market. Simples.
Big's a big wig in a big leather chair and a big gig. Small sits on a stool, small's nobody's fool. Big trips over small. Big's an opinion, small is a hunch. Big's at a corporate lunch, small has a sandwich. Small saves, small raves. After Big's fleeting greeting, he's soon back in a board meeting. Small stands by, small waves high. Big says, stop, you cannot go. The computer says no. Small smiles, says, hey, come round and play. Stay, because you want to stay.
With this powerful digital motor, a new era begins. Dyson has reinvented the vacuum. Definitely not a little portable. This is now your big machine to deep clean right through the home. So powerful, in fact, we've stopped developing corded vacuums.
Thank you for taking my call. Before we continue, could you say the first and third digits of your security PIN? Oh, I didn't catch that. Sorry. That's the second and fourth, please. Okay, lovely. All gone through. Did you see what I did there?
It's a scam. Never reveal your full security PIN, even if you think it's your bank calling. Learn how to protect yourself from fraud.
Your hands can do incredible things. They can put a smile on a friend's face, turn broken into brand new. They can turn beads into something beautiful. And now your hands can turn your idea into a reality when you build a website with GoDaddy Website Builder. Just type in your idea, select a design, connect your site to your social media, then publish your site, even from your mobile phone. Start for free at GoDaddy.
And it's a royal performance at Birkdale. Jordan Spieth is the Open champion.
The Open. Live on Sky Sports The Open.
Everyone knows their positions. SWAT isn't about kicking ass. It's about saving lives.
Which sometimes requires kicking a little ass.
Brand new SWAT, Sunday at 9 on Sky One. And if you've missed Hondo and his team in action, episode 1 is available now on Catch Up TV.
That was an absolute wicked kick, that.
Headingley return for the new director of rugby at the Leeds Rhinos. Kevin Sinfield is back in town. Wakefield are the visitors. in a match of huge importance for both sides as they hope to avoid a drop into the bottom four. Wakefield Trinity suddenly dragged back into that conversation. Leeds Rhinos currently outside the top 8. 7:30 p.m. with us on Sky Sports Arena. It is round 21 of the Betfred Super League. 3 rounds to go till we have the cut-off. The Warrington Wolves and Catalan Dragons have kicked it all off, and the Dragons are leading by just 2 points at half-time. It would be a massive result for them if they were to come away from here with a win and almost confirm them as top 8 material come round 23. There is one other game over the John Smith Stadium. Wigan unbeaten in their last 11 meetings with the Giants. They trailed 12-6 at half-time. Wigan scored first through Sam Tompkins. That try converted. Huddersfield hit back with tries from Darnell McIntosh and Alex Mellor. Brough missed both conversion attempts but was successful with 2 penalties. So they have a 12-6 half-time lead. Resurgent Huddersfield Giants as well. Okay, let's have a look at the match stats here at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. Possession in favour of the Warrington Wolves, 57-43. Completion rate slightly higher for the Catalan Dragons. Not a whole lot to choose there. But missed tackles, Dragons 11 missed tackles, maybe something they need to have a look at during the half-time break with Steve McNamara. But by and large, John Wells, you would feel that the Catalan Dragons coming in here 7th spot on the table up against the Warrington Wolves, who are chasing a top 2 finish still. This is a great first half for the visitors.
It is. I mean, it's not a surprising first half, is it? I mean, they're 4 out of the last 5 games in Super League. They've come out on top, and they started really well as well. Benjamin Julian inside the first 10 minutes, direct from a scrum, that one. The Warrington Wolves replied, deft kick by Kevin Brown, and Goodwin gets on the end of that one. And
that was followed up by a Josh Drinkwater penalty before this really nice play. And Stephen Ratford and Tyrone Roberts set Josh Charnley over for his 12th Super League try of the season.
Yeah, key 5 minutes in the game this, and it's an area that we're going to have a look at a little closer in a minute. Charnley's try and Livette's try, and what happened in the build-up to both of those.
16-8 at that point before Mickey McAlorum went over, closed the gap to 16-14. Tyrone Roberts, penalty 18-14 before a late try to Tony Gigot has made it a 2-point game in favour of the Catalan Dragons. Tony Gigot is a good way to finish that because the fullback has been very good in the attack, very lively. Some of his efforts, though, in defence would be questionable. I'm particularly talking about the Bryson Goodwin try where he went missing, went on the open side, was nowhere to be seen for Kevin Brown.
It's an interesting one with fullbacks of that sort of attacking quality, and I'll put Stephen Ratchford in that equation as well. It's almost like defence is optional sometimes in this league. They offer so much in attack, and they are genuine. They're almost extra halfbacks in the fullback position. We've got 2 great ones on the show today, and I think both are natural athletes, both are instinctive athletes. I think we saw the best out of Stephen Ratchford in that first 40 minutes.
You've got some great clips to highlight the England international's influence in attack in particular for the Warrington Wolves.
He's so subtle. What he does, this is his home, is around the ruck, is in this area here, just sits in behind and can really assess what the defence is doing. It's so smart, and he picks his times as well. That's just that push through there is typical of him. Nothing comes of it. But what is interesting is how he starts this play. Sat on the inside of Tyrone Roberts. Tyrone Roberts is the ball playing half. If you're a defender looking at that, ignore there's plenty wrong with this Catalan defence, by the way. Tony Gigot's called a man the wrong side and he's going to go over late. But let's ignore all that for now, because it's the subtlety of the play of this man, I think, that is really the difference between these two sides. So he sits on the inside. If you're any of these 2 defenders, you're half thinking now about a Stephen Ratchford support run on the inside hip of Tyrone Roberts. You have a look at what he does at the point of this play. Very, very late. And at that point, the defence is already in motion. Very, very difficult to do anything about. Now, the next bit, I'm not sure whether this is pure instinct or whether there's a little bit of research gone into this left edge for the Catalan Dragons. There's a propensity there from Braden Williami with options coming at him to try and kill and jam, and particularly on the fullback. There's a tell here in as well. This will all be studied by Ratchford and that ball playing right edge for Warrington. Soon as Williami accelerates, you watch this subtle change just there. Just a little short step, straighten up. It takes him through and into the backfield and then into the hands of Josh Charnley. The pass, by the way, is another skill set altogether. Once he's established what's in front of him.
Charnley also involved in Harvey Livette's try, but you're going to focus this one again around Stephen Ratchford and what he does in the space he sees.
So the ball's going away from him. He doesn't switch off. He's now looking at other areas of the field. is looking in particular at the opposition fullback, Tony Gigot. Gigot is herring away, as a fullback would be on that play. There's a really, really subtle look at what's coming next, what's further down the line. Ratchford, at this point, he's got his eyes on the fullback. He's watching the fullback go across. You watch his head just turn there. That is ever so small, but there's a glance there and a preparation for what might come either on the next play, or as in this case, it comes on that play. He knows where Tony Gigot is. He knows, therefore, there is likely to be some space in this backfield on this edge. Puts his arm up for the ball. He doesn't get it in the way that he wants it, but again, this is where he's so good. I'm not sure whether this is anything other than a flash in his peripheral vision, but he sensed a bit of pressure from the outside. What he does know, because he did his homework earlier, is that there's going to be some space to work in on this to the left of your screen here. That's brilliant. And then Harvey Levett picks up and takes advantage. He rolled the dice and he came up trumps. Two very good fullbacks, a game in the balance. Ratchford gets the nod in the first half.
Yep, the 9th try for the return of the season for the returning Harvey Levett. But Steve Price and the Warrington Wolves in the dressing room will have plenty to ponder from that first 40 minutes. Remember, last week they were beaten on the bell by the Wigan Warriors. Josh Wood's drop goal sealed the win, and Steve Price now must rally his troops. Pretty animated there. You would imagine in the hole not happy with that first 40-minute performance. They dominated possession, but it's the Catalan Dragons who went into the half-time break in front. Steve McNamara, we had a good shot of him pre-game, very relaxed. Well, this would be a huge scalp for his side, to say, not just to confirm them getting to inside the top 8. It could possibly push them on to greater things. All right, we've got the second 40 minutes from the first match of round 21 of the Betfred Super League on the way. Eddie and the boys standing by. The Wolves trail by 2. What have they got in response to the Dragons?
Chase on him, Luke Gay with a drop goal!
You make one hell of a first impression.
I certainly do. This mission is a trap. CIA's been infiltrated.
I'm sorry, what?
And the solution is?
I'm working on it.
Oh, he's working on it.
You go rogue, he's been authorized to kill you.
That's the job. No hard feelings.
What is he doing?
I find it best not to look.
Mission Impossible Fallout. Amazon Prime Day starts July 16th. It's a day and a half of epic deals. From electronics to kitchenware to Amazon devices. Loads of epic deals all in one place. Prime Day, July 16th to midnight, July 17th.
This Friday the 13th, prepare to be dazzled, because EuroMillions is making 13 lucky UK millionaires. Get your ticket today.
John says, footy's on. Kay says, I'll cook tonight. John says, game's starting. Kay says, food. John says, footy. Kay says, by the way, my flatmate's out. Winking face.
Stay connected with the new Toyota Aygo. Just go.
We came here to stay in touch with friends. And we got to know the friends of our friends. Then our mum, our ex, and our workmates joined in to wish us happy birthday. Then we discovered our uncle used to play in a band and realised he was young once too. We found others just like us. And just like that, we felt a little more connected to the world. We didn't come here for clickbait, spam, fake news, and data misuse. That's not okay. Which is why Facebook is changing. From now on, we'll do more to put you in control and help protect your privacy. To help you enjoy more of what you came here for in the first place. Friends. Because when this place does what it was built for, then we all get a little closer.
And it's a royal performance at Birkdale. Jordan Spieth is the Open champion.
The Open. Live on Sky Sports The Open.
So, let's start with the headlines.
I've lost my wife, my daughter, my job, my whole life to this stupid bloody thing. Lucky me. So if you want this, you're welcome to.
Has your luck changed?
Nowhere left to run, Harry.
If you want some more, you can have one.
The new series, Stanley's Lucky Man, Friday the 20th of July at 9 on Sky One.
And perhaps weave a little bit of magic. Super League Thursday here in Warrington, and coming up live this time next week, it'll be the end of day one of the Open from one of the toughest tests in golf. Carnoustie, the 147th Open Championship begins live at 6:30 in the morning on Sky Sports, the Open channel, a week today. Here at Warrington as we await the return of the players. The Wolves 18, the Dragons 20. And the Dragons aiming to secure their top 8 status. In good shape. And the youngsters of the Stockton Heath Primary School here in Warrington have been singing in the rain during half-time. They've been, there they go, drenched, soaked to the skin. They've given us a rendition of their own Wolves anthem, We Are the Wolves, and from The Greatest Showman, This Is Me. Brilliant. Brilliant stuff.
Lovely to see you joining in with that, Eddie.
Oh, this is me.
Words.
I love it. I love it.
Are you the bearded lady?
Probably.
Only on a weekend.
So here we go. Rain teeming down for the first time in months as the Catalan Dragons restart. And Stefan Ratchford picks it up on the bounce. Here goes the big fella Aquola, taking it in the first challenge. And a big challenge in the second half for the Dragons to keep Warrington out and for Warrington to get back in this match, because make no mistake, Terry, this Catalan Dragons side is massive.
It's a big challenge for both sides. It was a relaxed dressing room. Steve Price just talking to his players nice and composed, and the likes of Steve McNamara as well. They both know that the way that they have played in that first half, scoring 3 tries apiece, they can cause some problems. It's the little things that they need to tighten up on.
Talking of tightening up, the Dragons' defence is tightening up there on Jack Hughes. They found Tyrone Roberts. He's on the 40-metre line, but he was tight-ish to the touchline, so drills it down the middle of the field, where it's picked up by Lewis Tierney. And he is pulled to ground by Darrell Clark. But last year, look at this scoreline before I tell you that. The latest score from Huddersfield. Huddersfield Giants 16, Wigan 6, Catalan ahead here. This is not a good night so far for the Leeds Rhinos or Wakefield, who meet tomorrow in a vital match live on Sky Sport at Hemel Headingley. We will be there for that. Warrington 9th, Catalan 10th last year after 23 rounds, both in the qualifiers. Both these sides have made some progress in 2018, and they are both in cup semi-finals as well. They have Wembley in mind, and Warrington particularly have got Old Trafford in mind also. As we reach the 5th tackle of this set from the Dragons, Gigot hoists the kick high, and Lynham watched that all the way, went to ground very, very quickly, and David Mead got him down. Right, let's go down to the sidelines. Half-time report. Bill.
Eddie, the rain coming down really heavily now, and a factor that both coaches are conscious of, and the influence in the second half, the need to keep hold of the ball as Warrington immediately come up with the error and squander possession, and that is exactly what their coaching staff warned about, that the conditions are going to get tricky. They've really got to keep a grip on the ball. They've got to limit the mistakes, and the kicking game is going to be crucial, and that is a case already outlined by Steve McNamara, conscious of that. They can be better, he thinks. They haven't really built up any rhythm into the game. A lot of penalties, a lot of stopping and starting. He thinks that if they can get into a groove, they could put more points on the board. They've certainly got a man who can roll out a really good kicking game in Josh Drinkwater. He will be crucial for them in this very wet second half.
Yes, they haven't had conditions like this for about 6 or 7 weeks. There is Drinkwater with the kick, but well, he took the gamble early and he found Tyrone Roberts. That's all, who in turn finds Charnley. And Charnley will make good progress forward on tackle number 1.
It's
all a gamble.
It's all the basic but crucial facets of the game of rugby league. Getting your defence right, making sure when you kick the ball, you put pressure on your opponents, handing the ball over on your terms. That kick from Josh Drinkwater was a bit of a risky play. If it comes off, he scores the try. If not, he hands possession over to Warrington, and Warrington gobble up those metres. The weather and the greasy ball. He's trying to get in and just make that point there, and it would have been interesting to hear how both coaches approach that. By saying, don't drop the ball, don't focus on the ball, you're actually planted in the brains of the players. This ball could potentially squeeze out, spurt out, so look after the ball, respect possession.
Warrington inside Catalan territory by virtue of a penalty. After that kick from Roberts, touch of frustration again from the Dragons maybe. This now is Hughes. And Hughes cuts inside. Julien was there, bit of help also from Bousquet. Clark to Cooper, comes back this way, gets the ball away one-handed to Roberts. Roberts has to take the tackle from Drinkwater. Toby King into centre field again to Brown. Brown will hoist it high. This is a tester for Lewis Tierney, pouches it cleanly, but somebody taken out in the background. And it's a penalty to Warrington.
Well, the kick there on the first play, I'm not so sure that that was really on from Josh Drinkwater. We see how good he is, but then from that possession, you can see David Meady just blocks the path of Goodwin. That's what the referee, Ben Fowler, says. But from one end of the field, having 6 players, to the other end of the field, been under pressure, and now you've got another set of 6 to defend against.
Well, you haven't, because they've elected here to kick for goal. I think Catalan feel that they're a little hard done by there with that penalty, but maybe David Mead took a quarter step.
He did, he moved, and he's got to be stationary in front of there.
If you went back 5 or 10 years in the game, you could do far more than that. We've almost now swung too far the other way, I think, really. It's almost like you have to stand like a statue when the kick goes up. We've swung too far, haven't we? We've gone from one way to the other too far.
Well, he's come off second best as David Mead.
I haven't got a problem really with this penalty. Look, he's looking over his shoulder, seeing where he's running, knows exactly where the line is.
There's a little glance out the side of his eye that just gave him away, really.
He's looking at him. He knows that the line is going to be because where the ball's going to go. That's all you need to do.
I know, but I mean, we're talking. We're saying the defenders have to almost stand in stationary, statue-like, isn't it now here?
Well, interesting decision by Warrington. They're taking the 2 that's on offer with Tyrone Roberts. I wonder if the changed weather conditions tonight have anything to do with this. He drills it hard and low and gets it. It's all levelled up at 20 points apiece.
Well, I think the start of the second half belongs to Catalan, to Warrington. I think Hale up the penalty, just a little movement. Scores are all locked up now, and I think that Warrington, the talk would have been going back here. We've got to make sure that we get to our kick. Let's kick it down into the corner. Let's chase hard. They made a mistake in the first half and kick-off. They won't want to be making a mistake here.
Drinkwater kicks off, underneath it again Ratchford. Here comes the big man Akuola. They love him here in this particular part of the world, and we love Bill. Let's get down to him. Hello, Bill.
Eddie, the feeling's mutual. The feeling with Tony Gigot, though, is that he is nursing a bruised chest. He really did land right on the point of the ball when he went in for that try, winded himself and was feeling a bit sore during the half-time interval, but he's okay and he is out there. Greg Bird is not out there. That's a bit of a mystery. Came off fairly early in the first half. No sign of him since, but I'm told that he is fine. He will be back out there.
Deep kick from Roberts. I think that was certainly a thought about a 40-20. Gigot picks it up, though.
Got to make sure you find the space. Then Akuola come up with 2 strong caddies. Then Tyrone Roberts under no real pressure gets a poor kick away.
Fuad Yaha felt that from Chris Hill as well. Here goes Lewis Tierney.
I think we might see a few more of those with the greasy service. You're not as confident, you're not as comfortable stepping and making those big changes in direction. It straightens the runners up, and it might impact how players are colliding with each other.
Now in the middle they come again. The big fella Busquets, Garcia, dummy half. It's Drinkwater with a high kick into the grey sky. Well claimed by Charnley. He lands on the front foot as well. They weren't impressed once more, the crowd, with Kenny Edwards' challenge. The referee, though, was.
He's got a lot of positives in his game, hasn't he, Josh Charnley? Scoring tries is one, but obviously at the other end of the field you've got to do all this sort of stuff, and catching the ball under a bit of pressure. Chris Hill just ramps the ball forward here.
8 minutes of the second half gone, 20 points apiece. Warrington spurning the opportunity of a set of 6 from about 5-6 metres out for the penalty goal that Roberts converted. First time he's kicked for Warrington in Super League. Brown with a deep kick into the corner. And this will skip away, will it? No, it will not. What a kick. Even on these greasy conditions. Oh, Gigo taking a chance and finds Tierney. It came off.
Well, if he didn't get that offload away, Tony Gigo, I would imagine he would have been pushed over his try line. So good play from the French fullback.
Hey, he might not be the best player, but he's one of the most entertaining in this competition. You talked about how skillful he was before, and he kicks the ball, if you watch most of the time, with his right foot. I've seen him this season drop a goal, Eddie, with his left foot. Now, that is a tremendous piece of skill if you ever try to do a drop kick with your non-dominant foot.
Drinkwater's deep kick here and went from one side of the field to the other. Lynham picks it up. It's a decent chase.
And that's a change in tactic because of the weather. Kick the ball long, make your opponent work hard from their own try line, their own danger zone, if you like, and a good shot targeting the ball might dislodge it and give you some possession.
Here comes Charnley again. This now is Darrell Clark.
He was looking for the floor then. He needed to get that quick play of the ball and beat those defenders, otherwise they would have had a bit more time on him.
Westwood, Roberts, and a fumble by Roberts, but a knock-on is not deemed to be the case by Ben Taylor, so they get to tackle number 5. Oh, and Roberts just about picked that up in time. Edwards was after him. There goes Ratchford. This is a high kick. Here's a real tester. Oh, Tierney took it well. He could hear them coming.
And you can see what he does here. He catches the ball and he tries to get to ground as quick as possible. So there's no impact around the ball. And again, look at that for impact.
Yeah, tenacious defence here from Warrington now.
Well, I think both sides have really stepped up the game.
Straight and hard, as I say. You're not as confident making those changes in direction. Even though the ball is still being moved, there's an anxiety when you catch it. You're trying to absorb the ball, not fumble it.
Williami did well then, plays the ball to Garcia. Here they come again with Busquets. Fifth tackle.
Tremendous defence. You might have noticed on the Warrington dressing room at half-time a quote from a Warrington legend, Paul Cullen, talking about if their opponents are going to come to the ground here and win, they're going to have to pay some price and enjoy some pain here. But Warrington with the defence are certainly trying to inflict some pain, and now they're trying to return in with possession, keeping the ball alive. Good skill.
Good skill, but Lange watching Bryson Goodwin all the way. Here goes Ratchford. Been impressive all year has Stephen Ratchford for Warrington. Plays the ball to Clark. Clark finds Westwood.
They're just waiting for that one quick play of the ball, aren't they, with Ratchford and Clark.
Brown here now, down the line and all along the deck. This could be difficult for Tierney. Does well to protect the ball.
That's his second good kick as well, Kevin Brown, dominating that aspect of the game for Warrington, over on that edge. They need to keep the discipline, keep the focus, just piling the pressure and building pressure for Warrington Wolves at the minute.
Gigo is struggling, there's no doubt about that. This is David Mead. Away they come with Moa. 4 tackles gone though. Good pressure in defence from Warrington. Only 16 metres made. Might make a few more here. Garcia though loses the ball. Referee looks both ways for some guidance from touch judges, and they say it's simply a knock-on.
Because they're kicking long, they're winning the first 2 or 3 plays. There's hands around there from.
Oh, and Darby Livette has conned them all there.
Well, they get away with it. tries to get rid of the defenders. Garcia spins over, he's looking at the referee thinking, well, that's a clear penalty. Harvey Levette's ripped the ball from me.
So it's given as a knock-on. And so the Dragons with a little bit of work to do in defence here, because Warrington will start this set 15 metres inside their half. Bousquet is on the ground. He's taking a breather. Back on his feet now.
Back here, boys, please.
Time's off.
Stay here, boys, please. All right. Stay on side, guys. Yeah.
Forgotten what rain looked like this year, haven't we?
I was just trying to see them look up into the floodlights. Rain seems to be coming down heavy.
Stay on side, guys. Where they Kev?
So that's playing all seasons as well. Start of the game was a bit warm.
You're unhappy in February because it's cold. You're unhappy in June and July because it's too hot. And now because it's raining, Victor Meldrew.
I've never been unhappy too hot. Just sad that it's come to an end. Obviously, England out of the World Cup. God is crying.
Okay, Victor Meldrew.
I don't believe it. Darrell Clark to Roberts. Ben Pomeroy's on the field. Clark, Warrington anxious to get on with this. Roberts into centre field. Hughes gets it away to Brown. Brown stabs it into the corner again. Another intelligent kick. Oh, Tierney! It's a goal line dropout he's conceded.
Well, it makes you nervous when you're defending that, and obviously Warrington seem to have all the energy at the minute. This kick from Kevin Brown was kicked on the third. The last few sets they've kicked on the fourth player, trying to buy that territory, trying to force Catalan into making mistakes and come up with plays that they're not, or that they don't want to do. And Lewis Tierney couldn't take any gambles really. He was being chased really hard over on the left, Warrington's left, his right.
He made his 100th career appearance last week at Wakefield and was sin-binned.
Okay, Tony.
Well, there are moments in matches, probably at minutes you would say, pick them out, that tend to define the game, the whole contest of it. This is potentially, for me, the next 60 seconds, one of those.
I think it is after that goal line dropout, Phil. Had nothing on it, and it actually ricocheted off a Warrington player. This is Ben Pomeroy. Look where Warrington are here now, inside the 20, and two tackles gone. What's more, not clearing the ruck quickly enough. Benjamin Julian penalty. Will Warrington take the two on offer? Yes, they will. Kevin Brown has pointed at the sticks.
Well, Kevin Brown opted straight away and went up to the referee. Ben Fell said, yeah, we'll take the two.
That's twice that they've been with it. Well, they're within 10-15 and the other one 5 metres away, and they've taken kicks rather than chance their arm.
We all anticipated it would be a tight game, a tight contest. In theory, these two sides have the ability to beat one another at their best.
I think as the game gets on and you are looking for those points, well, in the first half, Catalan were quite happy in the opening few minutes to take 2 points, whereas Warrington would rather run the ball, but now with just 26 minutes to go now, they're quite content to knock over the 2 points here.
Catalan have lost the physical battle for me for about the last 5 or 10 minutes. They've got 2 minute rest here now to try and get the breath back, and when they restart, need to start to win the physical contests.
Well, they're going to nudge themselves ahead if Roberts is successful with his 6th kick of the night. And the referee wants the Catalan Dragons back before 10.
Time's off, Keith. Time's off. Stay there.
Roberts here then, 4 from 5, 5 from 6. If he kicks this, and a 22-20 lead. There we are. Well, he will be replaced next year. Blake Austin is on his way from Canberra to replace Tyrone Roberts as Warrington's marquee player. He's played 22 out of 24 now, and goes home at the end of 2018, but wants to go out a winner in either competition, but he would like to be in the grand final at Old Trafford, I'm sure.
We've got a decent relationship and understanding of Kevin Brown's game as well, like he has of Tyrone Roberts' game, and Stephen Ratchford at the back. The 3 good plays that link up well.
And the replacement for Tyrone Roberts has got to start all over again. with Kevin Brown next year, hasn't he? You would assume that Kevin Brown will still be here. He's said that he wants to play on, even though his contract does expire at the end of 2018.
And Dick Patton is in the mix there as well, coming off the bench these days, doing a job at 9 when Daryl Clark gets spelled.
Yes, and he's just signed a 2-year extension to his contract as Dick Patton, so some problems for Stephen Price to sort out selection-wise next year, maybe. Roberts here now, another good high kick. Gigo's put his hand up, went to ground quickly, could hear Charnley coming.
Well, straight away, as soon as that ball went up, Fuad Yaha's looked at his fullback, then all of a sudden Tony Gigo's took control. Here it is, Fuad Yaha. Play from Tony Gigo. Well, again, it's not where they'd want to be bringing the ball away.
Well, they brought on probably their best hope now because they've lost so many of these battles. Greg Bird's back on the field. We haven't seen him for a while. Kenny Edwards is in possession. But I often think in somebody that sort of Terry and Barry, I think that Greg Bird's presence lifts the Dragons.
Here he is, first touch since he's returned. Oh, and he's lost that. No, he hasn't. It was stolen from him. But he got a couple of those decisions in the first half, and a couple of them went against him when the ball came free.
Well, this certainly does help them. You can see that as he's leaping forward, is it Ben Pomeroy that's got his arm around there?
There's been a number of those this evening, haven't there? And I think that, again, conditions, greasy ball, if it's there, players, sometimes when the temptation presents itself, they can't always play the game in the right manner. But that penalty goes in favour of the Dragons. They've got some good field position. Let's see what they can do with it.
McIlorum there at dummy half to Greg Bird. On it goes again then to Rennie Casti. McIlorum back in again, 20 metres out. Drinkwater, Lange. It finds its way on the bounce to Braden Williami. He comes away from Roberts, and a second time. Gigo, 10 metres out. Drinkwater, short ball, Mikel Simon. Watched all the way by Westwood and Clark. But inching ever closer, the Dragons here with McIlorum. Into centre field it goes to Lange. Nice little kick to the in-goal area. Now this could be a try for David Mead. And it could also be a nasty bang for David Mead. And even worse for the Warrington chaser. I think that's Bryson Goodwin.
Time's off.
I think this could be a try, this.
Well, look, the advertising board's in bits, and there are a couple of players maybe in bits as well. They just slid on the greasy surface, but they've got a try on the field. And was it David Mead? I think it was.
I think it was. They've got try on the field. They want to check the grounding and onside. You can see the chasers on the right-hand side. They're all behind the ball, so onside. So it just goes down to the grounding. Does somebody get a hand on the ball down there? There's a few contenders.
Bryson Goodwin has got his hand down there, Stuart.
Wow, he does remarkably well, Bryson Goodwin.
Simultaneous though, Stuart, doesn't it go to the attacking
if
side?
If it's simultaneous, it goes to the attacking team. So does Bryson Goodwin get his hand on the ball before any player?
Yes.
Yes, he does.
Oh, what an effort.
It's difficult to see. Does his hand go on the ball? That's what the video referee, Phil Bentham, will be looking at. It certainly looks like he does there. That he gets his hand on it. And he's got to intentionally ground the ball, and I don't think there's anything else he's trying to do other than intentionally ground the ball in the in-goal area. So it looks from that Bryson Goodwin has got there first, just a fraction of a second before David Mead. So this will be overturned.
Well, Bryson Goodwin collided with the advertising hoardings, but I think he saved his club's bacon here. What an effort from him. What an effort from Bryson Goodwin. That said, it's a goal line dropout that Warrington have to get in here.
Well, that effort from Goodwin's as good as scoring a try, isn't it?
Just
phenomenal under pressure from two players. Look, knew he had to be brave as well, because look,
now
sliding off the pitch, obviously been raining. The end of the first half, the pitch is greasy.
Whoever's been responsible for building the perimeter hoardings has done a great job, haven't they? Because they collapse, don't they, on impact? They're not solid boards. We've seen it before in the China Cup game here. When players hit them, there is some give, and that's fortunate, really. Otherwise, we may have seen more serious injuries.
There you go.
The board's injured.
Fortunately,
need replacing.
fortunately, all the players are okay. Here's Teeny. Well, look at that scoreline. Huddersfield 20, Wigan second place on the table 6. Catalan losing here, Leeds Westfield tomorrow. Massive matches back end of the season at the bottom end. Greg Bird leading by the example.
Very physical here, Warrington. Simon looked like he dropped that ball then.
Kenny Edwards halted by the tackle low down by Deck Patton. Not been on the field long. McAlorum again. Oh, look at touch forward from back here. The crowd agreed. Simon hangs on for the Catalan Dragons. Drinkwater, high kick to the left-hand side, looking for Fouad Yaha.
He had it, didn't he? Fouad Yaha leaped high, had hold of the ball, he couldn't quite collect it. There's a knock-on. He jumps higher than Josh Charnley. There's a contest in the air. A mistake is made by Catalan.
On the 10, boys!
I've hardly seen Josh Drinkwater, and every time he's got involved, it looks like something might happen.
Last quarter of the match on the way. 22 points to 20. Warrington lead. Here goes Charnley again. Scorer of one of the Warrington tries. Patton. Oh, this has given us a penalty.
Well, it was outstanding line speed then. The first two plays from Catalan. And then Michael Simon makes the mistake, gives the penalty away.
Well, Bryson Goodwin has paid a bit of a price for that collision with the advertising hoarding. I think, Bill, you've got some detail.
Well, not surprisingly, Bryson Goodwin has picked up a leg injury in saving that try, and he's gone straight to the dressing room, and not sure whether he's going to be reappearing for Warrington. David Mead also picked up a bang in that. This is the incident, and well, he got two Catalan players on top of him and head first into that advertising hoarding. Not surprising, Bryson Goodwin has left the field. David Mead, it was his foot that actually went through the advertising hoarding, and he's got a nasty scrape on his shin, and he's lucky that that's all he's come away from the incident with.
Indeed so, it could have been even worse, that. This is Roberts, grounded by Greg Bird, who looks like he's having a word with his Australian counterpart on the deck as Brown hoists the kick high. Teeny's been good under those all night.
He was good under that as well. That was a well-placed kick from Kevin Brown. And then bodies flying around him, then Lewis Tierney when he got that ball.
Gigo, well, not many get away from Ben Westwood, and he got the ball away to Lewis Tierney.
Oh, how good was that? He beat Chris Hill with his footwork. There's the take from Tierney, but Gigo beat Chris Hill with his footwork, shrugged off another defender and found an offload to one of his teammates.
Bird again. Takes it forward. That's 4 tackles gone. And Gigo goes for a 40-20. Ratchford quickly across there to make sure it wasn't going over if it had the pace, and it didn't.
And the little simple things that Catalan are doing here, the kick to the corner, the chase, again the heartbeat of the side, Michael McClure, and the man who's got the number 19 on his back. Watch him, how enthusiastic he is. He looks to put inside pressure. He stepped back on the inside from the vet, but still involved.
In 3 of the tackles, all 3 of the tackles in this set, McAlorum. Brown lays it off to Westwood. Solid hit. Remy Casti.
Well, they're renewing that duel, aren't they? The 2 old heads going bang at it in the first half.
Nice little flick away by Hughes to Toby King, but Toby King couldn't keep hold of it, so this will be head and feed to the Dragons.
And under pressure there from Braden Williami. Well, you can see that he's aware of where the touchline is. Look at this again. Bryson Goodwin. This is remarkable. Gets injured there.
I think it's before he hits the the board, but that would have done him no favours. Julien and Mead, lucky only one of them damaged and off the field after that.
Steph, when you're ready, please, it's fine. Mick, head him, pal.
Well, just 2 points
Nearer, mate.
in this game.
Mind properly, pal.
Both sides are really giving a good account of themselves. Defensively, they've been strong. For this, Kevin Brown comes out the line trying to get his former teammate Benjamin Julien.
Go.
Here they come again with Simon. 22 French caps from Michael Simon. McIlaurin gets them going down the right-hand side with Greg Burr. 18 times he played for New South Wales. We'll be delighted about the state of origin this year, I'm sure. This is Lange. McIlaurin once again into centre field to Gigot. Now it's with Casti. He almost wrong-footed Chris Hill then. Westwood, though, coming to his rescue. Last one for the Catalan Dragons. Gigot goes down, losing his footing, and that will be the turnover.
Poor decision from Gigot there. He's a much smarter player than that. He pops up, thinks that something might present itself, but Chris Hill, too smart, too intelligent, too wily to give him anything, and sucks the player in.
Catalan had arguably the finest win on this ground 11 years ago, the 29th of July 2007. They won a Challenge Cup semi-final by 37 points to 24 against Wigan. And they got to Wembley, only to lose, admittedly, but they got there, and that was important for them. So it's a ground with happy memories for them, but not too many in the Super League lately. Deck Patton once again. Off the bench, trying to make a contribution to what he hopes will be this Warrington victory. They're hanging on to a 2-point lead. This is Roberts. Oh, and a little fumble from Ratchford, but does well, and then he slips. Ball gone. Patton gives it to Chris Hill. Decent set this defensively then from the Dragons. They've reached tackle number 5 of Warrington. Only 27 metres made. They're inside the 40 though, and it's a great effort. A great effort by Patton, just short of the 20-metre mark.
Well, the skill from Deck Patton just to pop out from dummy half and get the kick away under pressure as well from Remy Casti.
I like Deck Patton as a player, don't you?
Yeah, he's a quality player.
Yeah, he's got the courage of his conviction as well. He doesn't get everything right. That's part of that. He's in the part of learning what his job is. He's playing 9 at the minute, but one thing he can do, he can pass, he can kick, and he has the courage and bravery.
Got a try in the last grand final appearance, didn't he, Deck Patton?
Do you know what I like about him? He doesn't sulk about anything. When he loses position, whether it be in the half or at hooker, he gets back in, he takes his opportunity, and I think he's quite a consistent performer when he does play, but it's getting those opportunities.
Well, he's not been on for long, so I don't suppose he will figure in tonight's man of the match vote, but that's on the way.
You never know.
It is available for you on the Our League app in about 5 minutes' time. We'll get 4 names from our expert, none of this lot up here, but an expert watching at home with you, and we'll see who they come up with, and then you can have your say of who is tonight's man of the match on the Our League app. About 4 minutes' time. This is McIlaurin. Lange now.
I think it's going to be a mistake or a penalty that's going to lead to a try. Couple of sets of 6 near the opposition's line. Look at that for a strong carry.
Great run from Remy Casti. Think he might be a candidate. McIlaurin, dummy half, down the short side, dink into the in-goal area, and they just about ground it. Line them to it quickly, and then hoofed out by Ratchford.
Well, it's been almost 30 minutes since the last try in this game. We had 6 tries in the first 37 minutes, just before half-time, and not a single one since. Defence has got tighter. Perhaps the weather and conditions have changed slightly. But this, to me, feels like an ideal opportunity now for the Dragons. They've really upped the game since Greg Bird came on. They've had some better field position. They're applying some pressure here now, and they need some magic from a player. McIlaurin, Drinkwater, Bird, or maybe Tony Gigot.
2 penalty goals from Tyrone Roberts have put Warrington into the situation they find themselves in here now, 22 points to 20. I wonder if this is a legacy of last week when they couldn't buy a successful goal kick.
Maybe.
It was very close, of course. Here goes Casti again. Remember, what a hit. Catalan Dragons look lost, bereft of hope, doomed in the first 3 months of the campaign. They've now won 8 of the last 9 in Super League. They've gone from bottom to 7th. They're putting pressure on a place in the top 8. This is Greg Bird. Oh, they tried to get the pass away to Edwards.
We're not going for Warrington hands in our interception.
I agree, and that's certainly the feelings of the Catalan players who need to get back inside and defend.
This is Charlie being wrestled to the ground. Yes, it was.
Sure.
Touch judge is on. The referee will bring it back. Here, the referee will bring it back.
It's Kenny Edwards. He's absolutely fuming, and all he's fuming because the decision went against this side.
Well, he'll be not fuming now because they're going to come all the way back here. And Kenny Edwards is having a right old go at the touch judge. I didn't see it, I was following the ball.
Boys that way, please.
The referee and touch judge have chatted.
He's complaining about the ball coming off for Warrington, and that's what he's having to go at.
Referee Ben Taylor wisely getting the 2 sets of players apart. There was a frustration for Kenny Edwards. Charlie had a bit of a swing, and then Gail Simon gave Charlie a knee in the bum. It's all a bit
the big turning point was when Greg Bird threw the pass. That's a pivotal point in this match.
Well, that's what Kenny Edwards was complaining about.
Well, is that the first offence, Stuart?
Well, that's the first offence. Charnley lashing out at the play the ball, and then Simon comes up with the knee in the back, which is a silly thing to do.
Well, he's obviously taking the report from Phil Bentham, who's watched everything off field.
I think what will happen here is that Catalan will get the penalty, and we could end up with Simon going to the sin bin.
I've got to deal with facts, and then I'll have them. Mikel! Leave it to me. Come here. Right, mate. You're going in the bin because you've used a knee in the tackle. Right, so you're going in the bin. You go. Leave it to me. Leave it to me. Right. Boys, come here. Right, he's going in the bin. Listen, he's going in the bin for retaliation. The first penalty is against your man for lashing out. So the penalty's going to Catalan. The penalty's going to Catalan because your man's lashed out, but he's retaliated by using the knee. So he's going in the bin.
So
it's
the
your
retaliator takes the greater punishment.
No, because he hasn't been.
Well, it's a deliberate act, and that's the way he's viewed it. So that's why he's ended up in the sin bin.
Was the attempted smack a deliberate act as well? This is why the penalty is given.
It's crazy.
Well,
you can see he's reacted.
Daft on both sides, isn't it?
Mental on both sides. Absolutely crazy on both sides. In his defence, Josh Charlie, he's tried to play the ball in the wrong manner according to the officials. And then Mikkel Simon, I just don't know what he was thinking. What damage is he expecting to do there?
They're down to 12 men for 10 minutes in the vital 10 minutes as we approach the end of this game, the Catalan Dragons. I mean, I suppose that both of them could have been in the ball.
Well, it could have been. There was the option there.
So, Greg Bird will play the ball. Here comes Casti. Casti to McIlorum. McIlorum back it comes to Drinkwater. Drinkwater, well, I think he thought he'd been tackled and he stopped. Oh dear. They're lucky to get away with that. That could have been nasty. They put him down gently. Not the best pass. Garcia. Garcia claims he got one in the chops. Last tackle. He's on the floor as Benjamin Garcia.
See, now discipline is a big part of the game, but also this kind of stuff, playing for penalties. Well, he catches one, of course he does, and you
is it a
see
penalty,
that.
Stuart, or not?
It's a penalty, yes.
It's a penalty.
Yeah.
We're going to get a great last 10 minutes.
Penalties given.
22 all.
in the face.
This is saying 22 all to me.
Well, you would think that they would take the 2 points on offer, and they will, with Drinkwater. So we're going to get 10 minutes, but Catalan down to 12 men, remember.
And it makes it difficult for them in the final 11 minutes. Harvey Levett, there was contact there with the head. I agree with what Barry's saying, though. There was a delayed reaction from Benjamin Garcia, realising where he was on the pitch, what was in front of him, what's at stake. Get the 2 points here, it's all level.
Well, he does, but it was a penalty, fellas. I know what you're saying.
I agree with you.
Let
the referee ref the game.
This is not the round ball, this is the oval ball. Get up and play your ball if you can. And I'm going to say no more before I get myself in trouble.
Well done. There's a first for everything in this job.
No more for the next.
No more for the next 10 seconds.
He said he wasn't going to say anything.
This is Drinkwater to try and level the scores and give us the 10 minutes to savour. He doesn't miss them, does he? 22-22. 9.5 minutes remaining. Catalan, 12 men on the field for most of them.
They said before
Drop goal-a-thon on the way.
Is an inspired signing, isn't it, Josh Drinkwater? The way that he guides them around.
Well, this time, that's what it was. Was it Friday? I don't know where we. Yeah, last Friday. This time, last Friday, Warrington were level at Wigan and lost it. Here are the men of the match.
Stay behind, please, boys.
Candidates: Ratchford and Charnley of Warrington, Gigot and Mead of the Catalan Dragons. Ratchford, Charnley, Gigot and Mead, your chance now to have your say on the Our League app on your mobile device. Stefan Ratchford, deep kick-off. Mead collects it.
Good kick-off as well, wasn't it? Straight into the corner.
No, it wasn't, a bigger pardon, it was Willie Army who connected it, not David Mead.
Well, this is where you do need a good grip on the ball.
It's Casti who is the man, not David Mead as the man of the match. We gave you a wrong information there. Our apologies. Ratchford, Casti, Charnley, Gigot. There are your 4 candidates. And the ball comes out, but went backwards, says referee Ben Thaler.
They went for an impossible pass then. They were quite lucky that it comes down in McLaurin's hands.
Greg Bird will take them up the middle. Last tackle here for the Catalan Dragons. Drinkwater, Edwards, knock on by Williami. He's not happy with the pass, it was behind him.
Yeah, it wasn't the best pass from Edwards. They go down that short side, they think that they've got a 3-on-2, 3 attackers on 2 defenders, and you can just see it's more of a lazy pass.
And look where Warrington will get the possession here from this turnover. 12, 30, well, maybe 15 metres inside their own half. 6 chances. This is the 30th meeting between these two sides. We've never had a draw.
This is where Warrington be looking to the voice to have an impact from Kevin Brown or Tyrone Roberts. More than obviously just running with the ball, but directing and choosing and stimulating the attack here now to put them in the right place.
Patton waits at dummy half. They're just over halfway. Here goes Brown. There is Ratchford. Oh! And a knock-on that far side by Ben Pomeroy. Danger goes for Catalan.
Well, 30 metres away from Catalan's line, and you've got to give some credit as well to the way that David Mead defended that play. He waited for the ball to be passed. He was just backing off, buying a bit of time. He knew that he had the numbers. If he chooses to bite in, all of a sudden there's some space.
Look at that. Huddersfield have beaten the Wigan Warriors 20 points to 12.
Good game there from Huddersfield.
Simon
a good
Wolford
game here.
is waving his magic wand.
Absolutely.
Wait here, boys. I'll tell you when, please.
That will give them a great boost going into the last couple of rounds of the regular season, Huddersfield. If Catalan can win here, it will give them the boost they were looking for. Then, over to you, Leeds and Wakefield tomorrow in what will be Kevin Sinfield's first return to Headingley as Director of Rugby against local rivals Wakefield, who never give them an easy ride.
Big crowd expected.
Well, they will want to spoil the party, won't they, Wakefield?
Some have said this is the most important.
Oh, it's a penalty. Scrum offside. They held the ball in there, did the Catalan Dragons.
The fact that they have a man in the sin bin means that the second row is the back row of the feet. And I think Warrington are confused that so did the back of the scrum, but they're a man short.
Well, it's a penalty 40 metres away from their own line. Gigo will surely dump this as deep as he can into Warrington territory.
An intelligent play, and this is valuable field position, and you've got 12 men.
Surely Warrington aren't going to be done again in the last few seconds of a match or the last few minutes of a match. Gigo, don't forget, the most numbers of drop goals in a Super League season this year. 6 for him.
Josh Drinkwater to the Catalan halfbacks trying to set something up.
They're going down the short side. Yes.
Look for the long play here.
Into centre field they come now. Here goes Greg Bird. And Greg Bird is almost through. Will they go early? He's looking for the penalty, Greg Bird. Will they go early? Yes, they will with Gigo. Left-footed again. Misses Tony Gigo.
He thought Remy Castor was stood in the wrong place, didn't he? I mean, he preferred it on his right foot. He's gone to the weaker side. He's missed the first chance, but we're going to see several more, I think.
Well, the top drop goal kicker in Super League this year, Tony Gigo has missed, but look at Aquilora here.
Big charge.
Pounding him up down the middle, one penalty on the way. No, he said he's held. Edwards, and he moved quickly from Marker to bring Patton down. He better not get involved in this as Clark runs into his back. Now he can. Warrington going up the middle. 2 tackles gone, 3 tackles gone. Here they come once again with Mike Cooper. And Cooper stands and gets it away to Patton. He's immediately tackled by Michael McIlorum. Still 45 metres out, 4 gone. Aquola will take it up the middle again. Garcia into him quickly. Bird is there as well. Now then, are they close enough? 30 metres out. 13 metres out. Tyrone Roberts is back 5 metres. Here he is. He missed one last week. They're running it. Running it with Toby King. Charlie on his outside. Dab over the top. Lovely kick. Charlie might have got this. Charlie might have scored the try for Warrington. He came from nowhere. They've got a try on the field. Just need to check the grounding. Has Josh Charnley got his second try of the night? Has Josh Charnley done what he did last week against Wigan? He's onside.
He's onside, that's the first check. Always from a kick. And does he manage to maintain possession of the ball without knocking it on and going over the line with the ball?
This will tell us.
He's certainly got his hand to it first. I think he's knocked on. He's lost possession of the ball at that point before the line. He sold it very well, but I think he's knocked on there. Ball hits the ground, out of his possession, and the ball's lost. So this will be no try. He'll be overturned.
I think Ben Taylor has. He falls for this. The sell from Josh Charnley when he gets up.
This is going to anger the locals. Try is turned down.
Well, I didn't think it was a try.
No.
Not on first glance. Such a difficult skill there. The ball is bouncing and bobbling. We've already mentioned how slippy it is.
Every angle there confirms that's a knock-on, isn't it, before the line?
Thing is, Catalan have got to go 90 metres up the other end, or at least 60 to get in with a chance of a drop goal themselves. So defence the key for Warrington here.
I say the crowd have lifted. Intimidating place to bring the ball back this.
It is, and Catalan still have only got 12 men on the field. Bird is one of them though. Warrington here will pile in, and they'll try and not concede a penalty, and they'll try and pen them back, but here goes Kenny Edwards.
That is massive. That
what an offload. Simisoni Langley, the 2 great runs there from the Catalan Dragons. Casti will take them forward again. Over halfway they go. Oh, the ball's come free. Warrington have got it back. It's a free play. It's a free play.
Well, just about to say all the big players stepping on that run from Kenny Edwards. was outstanding. Remy Casti, when he goes down there, when he hits the ground, he just loses possession. He shakes his head, he knows that he's made the mistake, but he's one player that's given his all.
So here comes the chance for the Warrington Wolves. This scrum will form on halfway. Their memories, of course, go back just under a week. Man of the match voting looks like this. Ratchford leading the way. Tony Gigot not far behind. Charnley and Remy Casti. Vote for your favourite on the hourly gap. Vote for who you think is man of the match tonight. Not one left. Not one left in the match either. Pomeroy drives it in, tries to go past McAloran. Solid defence from the Catalan Dragons. They're back where they started, Warrington, on halfway. Here goes Patton. Crowd baying for a penalty. Problem here for Patton.
I guess this is where being a referee is really tough. This is probably the hardest. Being a referee is difficult at any time, but in the last few minutes of a game, when the score's level, every incident is scrutinised, and the referee's concentration here now, when he's been out there running for an hour and a half. One side desperate for a penalty to be awarded, the other one desperate for it not.
Well, there's no foul play in that incident that I can see.
No. So they will continue the tackle count. Patton's back on his feet. 14 metres out, Warrington.
Look at that defensive line ready to get off. Chris Hill's the man who's going to take it forward.
Here he goes. 5 metres made. Getting closer and closer. 3 tackles gone. Roberts gives it to Ratchford. Ratchford, it's a great run. Ratchford gets them to within 20 metres of the line. Clark is there in centre field. They give it to Clark. He's not interested in the one-pointer yet. Oh, it's a good run, this. Right underneath the sticks. This is their chance. This is Warrington's moment. Roberts is waiting for this. Roberts, can he be the hero of the night? Roberts has kicked it. No, he's missed it. He's missed it.
You bought it from the fans as well, Eddie.
Well, from this angle,
the cheer
like
as soon as he makes contact.
Brilliant position. The referee backtracked, didn't he? So he was almost like a goalkeeper to be in the best position he could be to see whether it went over and in between the uprights.
Let's credit the Catalan players.
I was just going to say that
off the line. There was about 5 of them there. Normally you get a lone chaser. There was 5 men putting pressure on, and that's the work ethic that Steve McNamara talked about before the game.
In the back of the mind of the defenders of Catalan Dragons, if they're within shot of those goals or those H's, they know that they've got to make it so difficult, not only for Tyrone Roberts, but you can throw in Kevin Brown, you can throw in Stephen Ratchford, you can throw in Deck Patton from 9 as well.
And remember, it's a 0 tackle because the ball went dead over the dead ball line, just as it was last week against Wigan. The Catalan Dragons have a Josh Woods. They've got 2 more tackles before they'll have a pop at it, and they're back to the full complement of players. Here he comes. Right. Is this the moment for the Dragons? It's Gigot. He plays it back to Drinkwater. He levels himself up. He slices it wide. Warrington will get one more chance. Never before has there been a draw in this fixture. Patton did well to put pressure on. He just couldn't get the angle right. 1 minute 20 seconds left. Warrington with 5 more tackles. Well, 6 more tackles. That was a 7-tackle restart. Cooper gets it away to Roberts again. Roberts then pops it up to Toby King. Desperate finish.
They've got a lot of things going through the mind now. Are they happy just to get to the set, or do they actually want to win the game? If they want to win the game,
for the draw.
If they want to win the game, Eddie, they've got to open it up, haven't they, from where they are.
Here goes Hughes. Route 1 down the middle. Patton waits at dummy half. Now it's with Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown fires it wide. Pomeroy will go on the run, gives it to Lynham. Lynham sticks it back inside. It looked forward there. The referee has given a forward pass. The referee has given a forward pass.
Well, he's waving his arms frantically, Ben Fowler. He's called it straight away. The fans are looking at the man who's going over the try line. But he's in a good position.
There could have been 2 forward passes in that. The last one certainly was to Ratchford. Nothing wrong with that to Livette.
The first one I thought might have been forward from Kevin Brown.
Yeah.
Pomeroy over on that left side. And the fans, nobody's leaving, nobody's going home, are they?
They will be in a moment because the referee's not stopped the clock and the siren's going to sound. We have got the first ever draw between these two sides in the Betfred Super League tonight. 22 points apiece. No tries in the second half. Gigo's try, 3 minutes from half-time, the last 4-pointer. Roberts with 2 penalty goals. Drinkwater with a penalty goal. 22 points apiece. It was 18-20 in Catalan's favour at half-time. You look back and from a neutral's point of view, you actually might think that a draw was a fair result because they went at it hammer and tong. And remember, the Dragons, 12 men for 10 minutes of the last 13 minutes of this match. Great contest, great contest. And who's won your man of the match vote? He is the Betfred Super League man of the match. It's Stefan Ratchford of Warrington.
Steph, congratulations on a man of the match award, but that must be so frustrating.
Yeah, probably, similar to last week, disappointing first half. I think they scored 3 tries in the first half, and I think we gave them every one of them. They didn't have to work for anything that first half, and again, we're putting ourselves in too difficult a position. And this is the time of year we've had 20 games now, 21 games to know how to build into a game and how we should start and how we should play the first half. And that's probably 3 weeks in a row now we've not quite done that.
But they are a difficult side to play against, especially in these conditions. They're very good. It's making life difficult for you when you're trying to get a bit of momentum going.
Yeah, summer rugby, yeah. No, obviously, you look at the last 10, 11 games, I think they've had 8, 9 wins out of them. So, they're a side who's on the up, and like I said, they're a side full of quality, and, they're playing really well at the moment. And, as disappointing as that is, I think, after the game, we'd probably look at taking a point rather than none that we took.
Was that forward?
Well, I'm not going to comment on anything. I have to have another look. I just seen him come in and try to tip it on, but some you get, some you don't, and unfortunately we didn't get that one today.
If there's any consolation, Wigan have lost at Huddersfield.
Oh really? Well, I didn't see that one. But again, Huddersfield, you look at their recent results, they're another team on the up, and there's no games now which are gimmies. I mean, we're at OKR next week, and they've been playing really well the last couple of weeks. So, like I say, it's going to get interesting this back end of the year, and we've got to pick our performances up.
Stefan, we've got a silver salver for you somewhere. We've also got a cheque for a charity of your choice.
Johnny Jack, please.
Well done.
Cheers. Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, Hull Kingston Rovers away and St Helens away, coming up for the Warrington Wolves, who could not get past the Catalan Dragons. First ever draw, as Eddie said, between both of these sides. 22 points apiece. Scoreless second 40 minutes, but Bryson Goodwin's try-saving effort maybe one the Warrington Wolves reflect on. OK, let's go over to the John Smith Stadium. Huddersfield, fewer sides more desperate for a win, John Wells, and I'll tell you what, Wigan scored first in this game. Huddersfield could have been forgiven for dropping their heads.
Yeah, they could have been, Brian. Marshall back on the inside, those long sweeping moves, a speculating kick from him, and Tompkins gets on the end of it, bats it up in the air and to himself. But Huddersfield, as they want to have done, has shown some spine in the last few weeks. Lee Gaskell here with a beautifully weighted kick into the corner for Darnell McIntosh's try. 4-6 conversion missed.
Yeah, Brough unsuccessful with that. He did score a penalty then, and then big Alex Mellor gets over.
Lovely offload as well in the build-up by O'Brien. Alex Mellor 10-6, another Brough penalty makes it 12-6 into the second half, and then direct from the scrum, Brian, Darnell McIntosh with his second great build-up play.
All right, 16 points in a 10-point game. Leroy Cudjoe scores to push it out to 20 points to 6. And a late try for Wigan wasn't going to take this game away from the Huddersfield Giants.
Yeah, direct from the penalty. Davis, good finish in the corner, still took some finishing, but Huddersfield Giants, they are on a march.
A massive 2 points for Simon Wolford's Giants, an important point for Steve McNamara and the Catalan Dragons. Well, the Warrington Wolves will get 3 points now off the Wigan Warriors and a full 9 away from St Helens. The Catalan Dragons, as I said, and Huddersfield, big winners from this. Now the gap between Leeds and Wakefield is 3 points. That, as luck would have it, is the game we have tomorrow for you on Sky Sports at Headingley. A massive, massive game for the Leeds Rhinos. And Wakefield Trinity now dragged back into the conversation. Well, we've had appalling conditions after, a drought for the last 2 weeks, and it was biblical downpour here tonight. Your thoughts on that, your reflection on that. Let's look at it from a Warrington Wolves perspective, first of all. Disappointing last week to lose to Wigan. Your assessment of their performance here today?
I thought, well, it's in comparison to how well and how much energy and confidence the Catalan Dragons brought to it. I don't think the Warrington Wolves went with it. There was a key moment, though, I think, that has actually saved Warrington Wolves a point. They're in danger of being beaten here on their own turf. Go back to the 58th minute, have a look at Bryson Goodwin, have a look at the turn, the reaction, and then that willingness to get his hand down first when David Mead was soaring, and it was his last act of the game. It cost him his participation the rest of the game. What an involvement by that man.
We spoke about the Catalan Dragons revival. They've now come to Halliwell Jones against a side chasing a top 2 spot, really would be Warrington Wolves' aim, and they've come away with a point and could have come away with a victory. That rubber stamped the revival of the Dragons.
Oh, they'll be pleased with that as well. I think quietly, when they analyse the chances that they've missed, they'll be very pleased with that. They now go 5 from 6 in terms of Super Leagues. That is some revival. They've got a healthy squad. They've got playmakers who are playing in form. We mentioned Tony Gigot at half-time, didn't we, as somebody who potentially fire them up that table. And great to watch as well.
Just a quick one on setting up for the drop goal. We're going to run out of time here. I mean, you look at Warrington and question how well that they prepared for their efforts at drop goal again.
Not well, and they'll be working on that this week.
Yeah, OK, something for Steve Price and the Wolves to work on. They have shared the points with the Catalan Dragons. All focus now goes to Emerald Headingley in Leeds. The Rhinos, with Kevin Sinfield returning for the first time at home, taking on Wakefield Trinity, 7:30 p.m. on Sky Sports Arena. The Rhinos are looking like they're going to have to win that game to get into the top 8. The Wakefield Trinity desperate for a win after a recent poor run of results. Night probably belonged to the Catalan Dragons. 1 point for them. Wolves, plenty to work on. We'll see you tomorrow at Leeds. It's a massive one.
Sky Sports Arena. Feel it all.
Just looking to pass, earn the right to play, go forward.
Gale to Hardacre. Hardacre to Minikin. Wide to Eden. 31 for the season.
For travel, I trust Kayak. They search hundreds of travel sites to find the best flight offers for me. For everything else, I trust myself.
Now, you wouldn't want a hot air balloon that could almost fly. So why would you want a cider that's almost perfect? Thankfully, Thatcher's makes sure theirs is. It's tasted every Friday by the Thatcher's family.